Do you believe that you are worthy and deserving of the life that you've dreamt for yourself? I'm Feline, your catalyst to grow. And probably in 2009, 2010, my husband and I made a trip to the south of France. And I absolutely fell in love with just France and the idea of living in Europe. And so 4 years ago, when we decided that we were going to move, and actually it was 5 years ago, when we decided that we were going to move abroad, I thought about how amazing that would be. I spent so many years thinking that would be so cool to live in Europe where we could travel to places that we enjoy and see cool architecture and history and all of those things and be immersed in a different culture. So the idea, the possibility of being able to move abroad, sorry, one of my cats wants to go outside. I'm about to garden today, hence my pigtail or my braids, and my cat that I rescued recently will not stop yelling. You can probably hear him, but we're just gonna keep going. So this will help me practice doing live videos and not getting distracted. Smokey, come here. Oh, OMG, I'm trying to tell a story. No. Okay, so moving to Spain. Moving to Spain in Europe was something that just felt like a dream. And so we finally made the plan, worked super hard to, this is hilarious. It's like, you know what Smokey's like right now? Smokey is like the thoughts that fill your brain when you want to go for your dreams, where it's just nagging and you're like, oh my God, shut up. I need to move forward. That's literally what Smokey's like right now. I think I should grab Smokey. Come on. Okay, you want to be in video? Now you're in video. All right? Okay, let's see if maybe he'll calm down if I sit here with him. Okay, so we finally moved out here, and it was super crazy because honestly, like, I think I had this expectation of how I would be adjusting to that change, adjusting to a dream come true. And when we got here, that is not at all how it was. Like, holy shit. like, I mean, for one thing, we didn't really have any of the comforts that we had back in the States. We were sleeping on a mattress, and I'll describe our property to you. So there's 3 houses on our property. One of them is a stone ruin that we've been renovating for 4 years. But when we got here, we had a mattress and that's about it. We had some sheets. We didn't have any towels. We had no silverware. We had nothing to really cook with. And we had our 4 cats, and they were all staying with us in one of the places that didn't have a working toilet and didn't have a kitchen, didn't have anything. So I remember still, it's like so vivid for me, laying there on the bed, on the mattress, on the ground, hearing this loud, obnoxious music that would play until 5 in the morning. And my thoughts were just going crazy. I was thinking about, what did we do? We made the biggest mistake that we can never come back from. Like, it felt so isolating in my mental spiral of self-destruction. Like, I didn't really want to share with, anybody how scared I was, like super scared. I didn't speak Spanish. We tried a few times to take lessons back in the States before we came here, but just life was so busy. And so we finally show up, and now can't speak Spanish. I don't feel comfortable driving. Kyle's doing most of the talking and conversing with people. I'm laying there listening to this loud music, and I remember grabbing the cat's dishes to take them to the other house to feed them and bring their food back so they could eat in the house we were staying in. And there was this massive brown slug next to their dish. I thought one of the cats totally took a crap next to their dish. I was like, oh my God, what is this thing? And I grabbed it with a paper towel, and it was stuck to the floor. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'd never seen a brown slug before. And I threw it outside, and I thought, I don't think I'm equipped for this life. I really don't think I have what it takes to live on a farm out kind of in a remote village. There's maybe 6,000 people, so it's not super remote. But compared to where we lived in Denver, Colorado, that's pretty remote. The people here speak Gallego, and Kyle learned, Sudamericano, Spanish. It's Castilian out here, totally different Spanish. And so, I guess it's similar, depending on who you ask. But I felt I felt like a small fish in a massive pond. And my thoughts were self-sabotaging me. I remember, look at this face. Come on. Isn't this video so much more entertaining with him in it? Smokey? Oh my God. But I remember, if I let him go, he's going to start yelling. So we're not going to do that. Or we smoke. I remember thinking, I'm never going to get this. And I went out to garden, and I just got my ass kicked. Our garden is a beast. And every time I cut our vines and our wisteria, I have to climb a ladder, and it's on this wobbly sort of stone pavers. And I think okay, I got this every time. And I just felt out of my league. So that was my sort of experience of getting down in this downward spiral of feeling like I'm not worthy of this life, and I don't think I can handle it. And that spiral turned into, I'm nothing here. I can't speak the language. I can't really identify as anything. We're not working. We came out here on a non-lucrative visa, and that was sort of the goal. The goal was to slow down, enjoy our lives, not have to work. How freaking lucky. And so the fact that we were able to do all of those things, a dream realized, honestly. For years, I wanted to be surrounded by nature in Europe, not have to work, and be surrounded by cats. And now I have everything that I've ever imagined. And I'm freaking out that I'm not worth it. So here's what I thought about is, where is this coming from? I spent a lot of my life overachieving, and I didn't know where that was coming from. I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and realizing when I sat with that kind of feeling of, why don't I feel worthy? And we have, this is our dream. So I found sort of that stillness within myself and asked the question, like, where is this coming from? You know, sorry, I have a lot of hair on my face now. Where is this thought coming from? And like in yoga practice, they say, find the stillness, you know, find the stillness. And in that stillness, you're typically holding a really difficult pose and you're struggling and it's sort of painful. But then once you let go, you can really enjoy that pose and find all the nuances as you're stretching and feel that kind of growth happen. So that's what I did, is I found the stillness in my mind through meditation, through reflecting and journaling and trying to observe all of the thoughts. Because, you know, when in my former life, I was so busy being busy that I sort of avoided those thoughts. And I realized by getting connected with myself, I could observe them and then meet them with radical self-acceptance, with compassion, thinking, oh, I don't feel worthy. Instead of shaming myself for that feeling of not being able to kind of adapt to this insane big change that not a lot of people could do because of these fears, right? Like, I think I was so hard on myself. Like, I should be able to do this. I mean, this is what I wanted, and now I'm complaining about it, you know? So instead of meeting that thought with shame, meet it with compassion and think, why did I feel unworthy, you know? And then I realized something, is that feeling of unworthiness had always been there in my life. That feeling of, I'm not that important. And that comes from old conditioning from experiences that kind of validated that sort of feeling that I'm not worthy or I'm not important. And just, you know, it's so interesting when you can stop and observe and meet those thoughts with compassion and those old kind of conditional feelings with compassion. You can realize that old conditional belief and those thoughts, that's not who I am. That's, you know, that's something that I was trained to believe for so many years. But I can change that belief and I can start to amend my soil, and with new thoughts and new beliefs of the person I want to be, the person that I already am, just by being myself. And I don't have to sort of define my worth by what I am, what label I am. The fact that I was no longer a salon owner, no longer, you know, doing something that I felt added worth, like I had to earn my worth, you know, when I didn't ever have to earn my worth. And you don't either. That's the thing. Like, the fact that you are on this planet and existing on this planet, that's worthy enough. So I think that was such an important practice of sort of assessing my soil. You know, if I picture myself like our old ass oak tree out here that's been growing and getting stronger with every storm, I can assess my soil as something separate from myself. It's just something that I'm growing in. And so I need to kind of observe that, like, be a gardener of my internal sort of garden and assess like what's growing in my soil, like, oh, okay, well, that unworthiness feeling, that's interesting. Let's observe that. Let's understand where that's coming from. And maybe some things need to decompose and some things need to, I need to remove. And I need to add and amend the soil with new things and new thoughts. Things like, yeah, I am worthy of being here. And you know why? Because let me show you. I'm going to go garden, or I'm going to, do the things that I don't believe I can do. And I'll retrain my thoughts. I'll retrain my condition. I'll condition myself with the type of thoughts and beliefs that I want to have, not the ones that were passed down from old experiences that may not have had anything to do with me, just through observation or whatever. Like it's not even, if you look back, it's maybe not even something that was intended to make you feel that way. It's just how we perceived it. So I think that's kind of cool in a way when we stop, observe our thoughts, observe our beliefs, sit in that sort of discomfort, and, on the other side, meet that with compassion and self-love, and be proud of yourself that you want to kind of heal from that. Because if you don't, you're going to keep trying to, in my case, earn my worth. And the thing is people around you already think you're worthy. You might be the only one that thinks you're unworthy. So, take yourself out of that and just observe without judgment, without critique, without shaming yourself that, that you feel these thoughts and that's bad. Think of your thoughts and your beliefs, whatever comes to your mind, as a crazy lucid dream. I have had some weird ass dreams. And if I attach those dreams to who I am, oh my God, like what? Like sometimes I'm like, how did I even dream that? So think of that. Your thoughts are like that. They just pop up all crazy, like thinking like, you didn't formulate that thought. That thought's not you. So I think, when I started the change really happened when I started to model the behavior that I wanted to be. And when I did that, I was already that person. I was already worthy. I was already all these things that I was trying so hard to be. So just do the behaviors that you want to do and take the action towards the person that you want to be, is what I wanted to say, if Smokey was not in the background in my head. But I think that's the biggest takeaway, is you really have to find the stillness, connect with yourself, observe your thoughts, treat them like dreams that you have, kind of just seeing, that you're just observing. And then meet them with compassion, and then amend your soil with the thoughts that you want to have. Thoughts like, in my case, I am deserving of a wonderful and beautiful life that I've dreamt of. I am deserving of, abundance. I'm deserving because I have the right to be here. And, you don't have to earn your worth. You're worthy as you are. Doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what title you have. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter, I don't know. None of that matters. Connect with yourself.